One BB here. So today I'm going to be talking about a topic that you probably think I'm crazy talking about it now when it's practically Halloween, and we have like another 9 months until this holiday happens. So why I'm talking about it now? Because I'm inspired about it or inspired about it. I don't know. I've been thinking about it. I just watched a video based on it, and that is going to be about Independence Day slash 4th of July, whatever day you call it, whether you call it Independence Day. I particularly call it 4th of July. Sometimes I'll say Independence Day. But regardless of what you call it, we're going to talk about it. So like any other video, keep in mind, I don't know how long I have to talk. I may have 10 minutes, I may have an hour, I may have 15 minutes, I may have 20 minutes. My phone doesn't tell me how long I have to film. Like my old phone would tell me how long I had to film. Compared to this, where this shows me how long I've been talking. For example, I've been talking for a minute. Now my family, we have always celebrated Independence Day. I'm just going to call it Independence Day because it's easier for me to pronounce with my speech impairment. As long as I can possibly remember, we have done the 4th of July. Oh, Independence Day. I don't know what I'm going to say anyways, regardless. I may say Independence Day. I may say 4th of July. I don't know. Now, the last maybe... I want to say maybe the last maybe 5-6 years-ish. Maybe 7. We haven't really done anything for the holiday. Now, a few reasons was because we just all grew up. We started getting jobs, and we started going to, my family and friends and everybody that will explain everything in a minute. We all started having jobs and moving and getting older and going to college and having jobs that interfered with the holiday and this and that. And, for 4.5 years, I was on a unit. So I would do traffic control and call outs and patrols and stuff on the holiday. So I was typically in Bartlett or on a unit doing stuff on the 4th of July, Independence Day. But anyways, regardless, I'm not talking about the last 6 or 7 years because, like I said, we haven't really done much the last handful of years. So obviously, sorry about that, guys. I just finished eating. So if I start to cough or anything, I'm not sick. I don't know. So anyways, like I said, minus the 5, 6, 7 years that have gone by so far without not really doing the holiday or celebrating it. Even though I did this year because we went to Wisconsin. But I'm basing this off family family times of spending time with family and my family friends. We used to go over to my grandma's. We would typically celebrate it on, obviously, Independence Day, July 4th. We would always go there around noon, maybe 2 o'clock. And my grandma used to live... My grandma, I'm talking about my dad's parents. My dad's mom and dad. Because unfortunately, sadly, my other set of grandparents, my mom's mom and dad, have passed. So when I say grandma and grandpa, I mean my dad's mom and dad. How you can kind of tell the difference is I would call my dad's mom and dad grandpa and grandma, and would call my mom's mom and dad Oma and Opa. So anyways, so we would just go over to grandma's house, and my grandma used to live in she still does live in Streamwood. But the house that we would go to was actually the house that my dad and half my uncles and my one aunt grew up in, because my dad had one sister and 4 other brothers. But anyways, 3 other brothers. I'm sorry, 3. There was 5 of them. So anyways, so we would go there, like it's typically around maybe noon, 2 o'clock. And we wouldn't get home until like 2 or 3 in the morning. Of course, this was over like 15 years ago. Because he moved out of that house a good 15, 16 years ago. So we're talking about like 16 years ago when it comes to my grandma's house that he used to live in, that my dad grew up in, because obviously he moved out of that house. So we would just go there and, we would barbecue and, my two uncles would always buy fireworks. Even though living in Illinois, they're technically illegal and they can't shoot them off. Like, we would always risk it anyways, and my cousins and my uncles, they were always shooting them off. And don't get me wrong, they were fun. They were very fun and nice and cool to see. It says we would always, have to be on the lookout for the 5-0 to see if they pulled up and stuff. So anyways, my grandma also lived literally a block away from Dolphin Park. Now, Dolphin Park is where my village that I live in, no town, even though it's technically a village. You go on Google and you type in Streamwood, Illinois, and Streamwood, Illinois does technically say it's a village. But anyways, town, village, city. Well, it's not a city, but anyways. Dolphin Park is where they shoot off the fireworks. Dolphin Park is where you can go see the fireworks show. In my town is Dolphin Park. That's where they shoot the fireworks off and you lay on the fields and see them. And like I said, we don't really do that anymore because my grandma moved. And then after she moved, we went to my aunt's house. And my aunt lives behind CVS. Down by like 19 and 59. You're probably thinking, why the hell am I telling people where my family lives? But I'm not giving you an address. I'm not giving you a particular street. I'm just kind of giving you an idea where they live. It's not like I'm giving the address out or anything, But, yeah, so after we, moved out of my grandma's house, we kind of stopped going to Dolphin. Now, we did that for 2 reasons. We did that, one, because of the drive. Even though, to be honest, it was like about maybe a 5-minute drive from my aunt's house to my grandma's house, my grandma's neighborhood. It was probably maybe a 3 or 4 minute drive, not even 5 minutes, probably less than that. Anyways, so it's not so much it was about the drive, because it really was not that far of a drive. It was literally maybe 4 stoplights away, So we stopped going because of that, because we just didn't want to leave the party and leave the house. And when we were at my grandma's house, like when my grandma lived a block away, we would all gather, I want to say maybe 6 o'clock ish. I don't know, or I don't remember what time they start the fireworks show. If anything, I want to guess maybe 6, maybe 7 o'clock. Obviously it has to be night. So I don't know how long or what time they do it, But we would always get together and we would get like a cooler. We would get 2 and we put like one cooler has snacks and food in it. Another cooler has like beer and alcohol and soda and drinks for the kids and stuff. And some of us, we would get in like a trolley or a little cart. And again, keep in mind, this was like a good 15, 16 years ago. So we were a lot younger back then. I was about 15, 16 years younger at the time, So, we would all just hop in, and some of us would walk, some of us would ride our bikes. We literally walked like 1 block down to the sidewalk, and it was maybe a 5-minute walk. Not even, like I said, we literally walked down a block and we were at the park to see the show. But like I said, once my grandma started moving, we didn't really do that too often anymore. I think we did it for maybe 2 more years, and then after that, we were like, yeah, we might as well just stay at my aunt's house because, like I said, my uncle and my cousins would shoot off fireworks, and they always would buy so much. They would have like trunks full of firecrackers, fireworks, to the point where we could go like practically the whole night. Like we would start like in the afternoon, like when the party started, we would do like the small little ones that would just make noises and stuff. And then once darkness happened, then we would get the big ones out. Now, obviously, we would always try our best not to get ones that really went up in the air too much. I mean, we did get a couple, we did have some, but we were trying to be, discreet. We weren't trying to, discreet. I don't know if that's a proper word, but like we were trying to not to be obvious that it was us, because our town police department, they really do a good job when it comes to fireworks and catching people that do fireworks and stuff. So, we were just really trying not to be obvious that it was our house, So it's not like we got a ton that went up in the air. One year, for example, my Uncle Brian, he got a firework. He didn't know what it did. So I remember he shot it off and it went up in the air and exploded, and it was actual firework. And he got 2 of those and he's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. That's too big, that's too loud, and that's too obvious. So then we would go to my aunt's house and nothing changed. Nothing changed besides location. And we would go around the same time, and like my grandma's house, we would have ribs, and we would always have the typical 4th of July barbecue food you can think of. Ribs, hot dogs, burgers, potato salad, pasta salad, all the sides, beans, hot dogs. We had chicken, we had beef, we had pork, I think, at one time. We would have all the side dishes like salads and this and that, and corn, you name it, we probably had it. Potato salad, I think I said that about it. Egg salad, my grandma would make these little celery sticks that had celery in it, and she put sour cream and like paprika on it. I would always help her make that, but I would always put it too much on it, and she's like, you can't stuff them like, deviled eggs, you name it, we had it, the typical food, and I remember one year, it was actually raining, like the first hour, and I asked my uncle, because we were grilling, I was like, do you think we're going to be able to shoot the fireworks off? And he's like, well, if the rain stops, he's like, we should be able to. And it ended up stopping. I think we actually had a tornado warning, or a tornado watch that day, as I remember talking to my uncle outside at the grill, and he's like, yeah, there's a tornado watch. I think it was a watch. I don't think it was a warning. But anyways, no, we would always have music going. We wouldn't really dance. My family, we're not really the family known to dance. I mean, we do, but like, I think out of all the parties I've been to, the last time we danced was at a birthday. And my cousin, Little Tom, we called him Little Tom because his dad was also named Tom. So we would say Big Tom and Little Tom. Because Little Tom was the younger one, Big Tom was the older one. That's just what we did, and we do in our family, His name has always been Little Tom, even though he's not little anymore. But a couple years ago, when he turned, I think it was like maybe 2-3 years ago, he turned 30. 30. We did like a surprise party for him in my aunt's basement. Then we danced. We danced that time because we stayed up till like 4 in the morning partying. Like we were up till like 4 in the morning doing the party. And even someone like my Aunt Lisa, that used to do the 4th of July, that used to do that does Thanksgiving. I think that was only like my second, third time seeing her stay up that late. My Aunt Lisa is not a night person. We're talking about a lady that gets up at 4:45 in the morning and cleans and does laundry and vacuums and cleans and cleans and cleans and cleans, and I don't know how else to explain it. She cleans, makes a bed, cleans the bathrooms, vacuums, sweeps, dusts, laundry, dishes, this and that, and is done cleaning the house by like 7 in the morning. And she wakes up at 4:45. Girl, anyways. So, yeah, but even that party we were dancing. Like I said, I don't want to say we don't dance, but we don't typically dance at parties, you know? So, it does depend on how much alcohol was drinking at that party and what type of party it is, I guess. So, yeah, and then a few years after being at my Aunt Lisa's house for Independence Day, her neighbor, because let me tell you, at one point, we had three families living on one block, in one neighborhood, on one street. We had my Aunt Lisa, my Aunt Kathy, and my Uncle Wick. I'm giving you guys names like you guys know who these people are. We had three families living in one street. We were asked to live on that street because they lived there when the houses were being built, so they were literally buying it as the blueprint. We already owned this house at the time, because those houses were built in the 90s. I think it was like maybe one, not even, maybe, it was maybe 92 that they were built, I don't know, 92, 93, or 94, I want to say the houses were built that my aunt lives in. And my family already bought the house, we were already living here. And my mom was like, yeah, as much as I would love to move there, she's like, I already have a house. And the village was like, come on, move in this neighborhood. You move in the street, and they said, we can name it after you guys. We can name it after your family's name, Burke, Burke. They said, we can name it after your family's last name. They said it will be named the Burke. And my mom was just like, no. And when she told me that, I was just like, what? I said, if you would have moved in, one more family would have moved in that neighborhood, they would have named it our last name. And Mom's like, yeah. And I'm like, girl, you crazy for not doing that. Man. My aunt is actually the only one that still lives in that neighborhood right now. Everyone else has moved since then. But anyways, so we had a family friend in that neighborhood. We had a lot of family friends. At one point, we still know, but we used to hang out with like 6 other families. We had like the Lascos, we had the Edmonds, we had the Glisters, we had the going blank. There's like 2 more. Teslas. I don't know if I'm pronouncing these names right. I haven't seen these people in like 4 or 5 years. I haven't hung out with these people, so it's been a while. So if you guys are watching this video by chance, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing the names wrong, last names wrong. It has to do with my speech impairment. But anyways, there was like a handful of families that my family and us would hang out with, that we knew that my cousins practically grew up with these kids, they practically knew these kids in like school and knew these kids in diapers and walking and driver's licenses and all these things. So the Edmonds, I would speak of them the most because one year, they're so nice of a family. That family, that's so nice. But one year they started inviting us over to their place for Independence Day. Now they had a pool. They had a big yard, everyone could fit. So for many years, we would go there. It was practically my aunt's neighborhood, We would park by my aunt's house and then this walk through my other aunt's yard, Because my one aunt that lived there, her yard connected with their yard. So we would literally go inside my aunt's house, or maybe through the front backyard, open the gate, and boom, we were at the party like that, And we went there for several years. Like, we celebrated Independence Day with the Edmonds for probably maybe 5 or 6 years. I want to say, without counting, because I lost track. We spent so many years with the Edmonds doing Independence Day. I lost count, but I think the main reason why we went over there was because they were a nice family, and they also had a pool. That my aunt did not have a pool. Now, of course, my aunt always said that she wanted a pool, but her backyard is like on a hill, or like slooped, I guess you would call it. So it's kind of, it would be like impossible to put a pool in her backyard because her backyard is like a hill. So one year they just started inviting us over for Independence Day. And it got to the point where they're like, hey, just know every year you're always going to be welcome. It's like, some years they sent out an invitation, or like text or whatever it was. Or some years they would just tell my aunt, hey, make sure you tell Brenna, Bill, and Sarah, my parents, and Kaylin, my sister, that we're celebrating Independence Day. And sometimes it was through Facebook, you name it. So it's kind of got into the habit of, you just knew that come 4th of July, we're going over there and hanging out and swimming in the pool. And with my family ourselves, there was 22 in my family. Because this was the time before girlfriends and before fiancés and stuff. Anyways, and boyfriends. So my family was like 21, 22-ish. And then the other set of, like, the neighbors was like a good, like, another 20 people, probably. Maybe 25 people. So altogether, there was probably like, without counting each and every person, there was like 40. I don't want to say 40. That's because I feel like that's a lot of people. But yet, and my family's 21 to begin with, plus practically the whole neighborhood, there was a lot of people. But we would always have fun. I don't think there was one time where I said, besides maybe one incident, and I'm not going to explain in this video, that I would probably say I didn't have fun. And all the times besides that one incident that didn't technically even happen at the house, it happened somewhere else, because we were playing softball, but that's a whole nother story. I'm not going to explain it in this one, because that's going to take me some time to explain. But, girl, it was fun. Like I said, whether we had it at my grandma's house, my aunt's house, or at the Edmonds, regardless of where we had it, we always had fun. And even at the Edmonds, my uncle still would shoot off fireworks. It would have to go into the little cul-de-sac, because they kind of lived in the cul-de-sac. And then, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years after doing the Edmonds, having the party at the Edmonds, the cops actually showed up and they said, hey, make sure we don't come back. But it was always fun. We would always go in the pool. I loved the pool. I love swimming. Like, I don't really swim. I kind of just go in the pool and bounce around and go into the water, because I love going underwater. So I would kind of just go in there and maybe bounce around, even though, I shouldn't really be bouncing, with this whack. Like, it hurts to bounce. Whether you're in the pool or not, I don't bounce. I don't ever really move that much because, yeah. But anyways, each and every year we would always do like a volleyball game in the water. We would play volleyball. And we would do multiple games. And everybody would get in the pool, like the aunts, the uncles, the neighbors, my dad, sometimes my mom, my cousins, my sister. I think one year my grandparents did it. Almost everybody went in the pool, when it came to volleyball time. We would just play multiple games. Like, some games it was females versus males. Some times it was kids versus adults. Some years it was like families versus families. You know, we would just play multiple games for hours. And then by the time that was over, it was, you know, we would normally do it after dinner. So we would all, when the party started, we would all go in there. You know, whoever wanted to go in there would go in there. That would be me. And we would swim for a couple hours, like an hour, and then do like appetizers, and then get back in, and then swim for like an hour. And then food would be ready, and then I would eat, and then wait half an hour, and then go back in the pool, and then swim, and then dessert, and then right around dessert slash beginning of dessert, after dessert, then we would start the volleyball game in the water. And it was just, you know, fun. And then after, by the time that volleyball ended, it was probably more closer to maybe 5 or 6. And then we would get out of the pool because it started to get cold, because it started to get night, and, you know, the sun started going down. And you don't want to be in the pool with mosquitoes. And we would get out and drip dry, and everybody would get dressed and out of their swim outfit, yeah, you know what I mean. The outfit you wear when you go swimming. I can pronounce that with my speech impairment. And then everybody would either take a shower, depending on where they lived. You know, some years I would go over to my aunt's and just hop in the shower real quick and clean my hair. Some years I would just wait until I got home. You know, some years I even drove home and would get dressed. You know, it does depend. Every year was different. Some years I even stayed in my swim outfit. You know, some years I would change. Some years I would actually run to my aunt's house and she wouldn't let me take a shower. Some years it was like, you know, I'm just going to get dressed and put on my Independence Day themed outfit. And then we would shoot fireworks the rest of the night. And then go in the garage and play like Flippy Cup and Floppy Cup and, you know, bear pong. And, you know, one year my cousin made like these gummy bears that were like marinated in alcohol that were pretty good. I had a couple and I was just like, oh, I had 4 and I was just like, I can't eat anymore. Those are good, you know. So yeah, you know, this 4th of July, I really love it. Like, even though the last few years we haven't really celebrated it as a family, you know, me and my aunt were talking about doing it this year. But then COVID happened, and COVID hit. So it was a little difficult to do. But me and my aunt, we were literally sitting down a couple months before, talking face to face about, hey, let's do an Independence Day party this year. You know, I will host it. I will get everything. I'll do everything, this and that. And she's like, yeah. She's like, we can have it at my house. She's like, I wouldn't mind, you know, because he has a backyard and everything. And we were going to do it. We were legit going to do it. Get the family together, get whoever over, you know. And then COVID hit, unfortunately, so we couldn't do it. But I was getting really excited because we would have done it. And COVID hit. So anyways, my phone is flashing for some odd reason. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed my story. Like always, I'm sorry if I talk fast. I'm sorry if you cannot understand